Hold on, hold on. What's up, bro?
Oh, hey.
Where were we?
I don't even fucking know.
Okay, I kind of relatively know, but it's pointless to get to exactly where we were. But there was something I did want to bring up, which I thought was really cool, is how the mycelium works symbiotically with the environment around it, and so it like latches onto tree roots and shit like that, and so that they can go get their food, and then they help the trees in turn as well, and they just kind of create these like mega forest ecosystems, but everything's intertwined and connected underneath us.
And they'll
so cool.
they'll transmit nutrients to
Yeah.
trees that need them more than others.
Yeah.
That's
They're great
absolutely
recyclers, man. Yeah.
It's fascinating.
So fascinating.
And to think that that's not a form of intelligence is ludicrous to me. It makes no sense.
Right? Yeah. I don't necessarily think that ever going to hold up that belief that it's not conscious. I don't think that that's going to last much longer. I don't think it's the prevailing idea now.
Yeah. It is. It's interesting. It does kind of provide a conflict for, I guess, vegetarians and vegans. Because, I mean...
Yeah, but they know that the plants are alive.
Plants are alive, but if they're conscious beings and they can if they can feel things and feel emotions and feel pain, then that puts a whole fucking, stick in the cog of the idea of veganism.
It does, but most plants, when you harvest the food part, you're not killing the plant, you're just harvesting like a toenail. You know what I mean? Like, you just pluck from the plant itself. You don't actually have to kill the plant to harvest the goods that it gives you.
True, but let's say you don't have to kill the mother deer to be able to harvest the offspring of that deer. And that mother could still produce more offspring. That's just me being devil's advocate.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but fruit aren't alive yet. They're just a sac that holds the seed for the potential of life, like kind of like an egg, right? Obviously, vegans, but
what more is a
different? Plus, also think about the torture to keep a deer in place to have it. Anyways, fuck you.
I'm thinking a deer in the wild, but what more is a deer than a sac with the potential of creating more life? If we're going to break it down into those terms,
I think the complexity of life in a deer is much more than the complexity that's within a fruit.
Absolutely, and I agree with that. But when you boil it down to the roots of any living organism, the design of that orgasm. I fucked that up so bad, and then we're gonna leave it in.
Is it to the desire for that organism to orgasm? Because I totally agree with you. I think that's exactly what it is.
Basically,
but it's tied in, because it's to produce more life. That's where you were going.
Yeah.
So there
exactly.
are orgasms involved.
There are. So full circle, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
But basically every living organism is a sack of cells looking to create another version of that group of cells.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very Darwinistic, but yes, that is truth. You don't necessarily need to harvest all the fruits. And you can also grab some of those fruit, take the seeds, because a lot of plants have evolved that they want their fruit to be eaten so that when a bear shits it out a mile away, the seeds with the fresh, what am I trying to say? The fresh fucking, not mulch.
Poop?
Poop.
Dung.
Manure.
Shit.
The fresh manure. Jesus. The fresh manure, and then it can grow in that area. So a lot of fruits are made with the hopes that animals are going to come by, eat it, and shit it out later. Tomatoes, berries, things like that. So it's like you are helping the plant live by plucking its fruit because you're going to shit it out later.
Yeah, fair enough. But if you're a predator and you eat a prey that allows you to produce more of your own offspring that propagates your species and allows your offspring to thrive.
I don't think vegans and vegetarians have problems with predatory animals. I think they just don't want to be predatory themselves in the way that humankind have structured it with like meat torture stuff.
But if plants have consciousness themselves, where do we draw the line? Where does consciousness begin and end, and where does you know how many rats and squirrels and bugs and vermin are destroyed in grain composting or like grain harvesting? So even if you are a vegan and you only eat vegetables, you are still contributing to death.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no escaping it.
I'm not going to defend the point of view of somebody that I don't fully understand, but
you had such an evil laugh right there too.
Yeah, I was picturing vegans learning that information for the first time, that when they eat a bowl of cereal, they're also eating dead rat. Just like them falling into the. I think that's funny.
It's part of the nature.
Sorry, vegans.
It is what it is.
Zero vegans listening in.
There's no, in my opinion, there's no need to apologize because that's just, it is what it is. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact. I just, the evil laugh. I'm laughing at them.
Things have to die in order for other things to live. That's
the circle of life.
You took the song right out of my fucking diaphragm because that's what I was
sing it, baby. Sing it, Elton.
That's what it is. The circle of life. So off key.
And I mean, man, the mycelium crushed it at the circle of life, man. They're like, oh, you're a dead tree? I'm going to recompose you into soil and feed other things. Oh, you're a dead body? Guess what? I got you.
Yep.
You don't have to die in vain.
And that's really what the circle of life truly fucking means, is all of the nutrients that are stored within any given life form is going to be returned within to God damn it, I sound like a fucking idiot,
dude.
It's going to be returned.
If vegans hate the idea of another life suffering, then they should never have children.
True. Yeah, facts. Also,
that was my emo comment of the week.
Vegans who have cats or dogs, even though you may treat them, that's the crazy thing with especially cats. Cats are 100%, they are carnivorous animals. They have to eat meat. Otherwise, they die. And for a vegan person to own like 6 or 7 cats and be feeding them fucking tuna, you're contributing.
I mean, like cat food from the factory that just slaughters all those animals to make that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
Versus like cats that like are outdoor cats and like, oh yeah, it eats the rats that goes into my brain so that I can eat a vegan free cereal or a vegan cereal.
Right.
Then it's like that cat's doing that cat's job. It's to being a cat. Yeah.
Cats can't live on a vegan or vegetarian diet. They just can't. Their metabolism does not work for it.
Yeah.
Same thing how cows can't exist on eating the flesh of other dead cows. That's
stupid as fuck.
Yeah, that's how you get mad cow disease.
Yeah, stupid.
Cows are designed and have been designed by nature for hundreds of thousands of years to eat grass. Cats have been designed for hundreds of thousands of years to eat dead things, dead animals.
To kill things and then eat them. Yeah. Fresh meat. Yeah.
So, like, yeah, vegans that have cats is one of the funniest conundrums. Just like, you have literally a peak predator living in your house that's only desire is to kill and eat smaller things. Just because this peak performing predator has been shrunken down into the size where you can manage it, you have a lion in your house. You have a panther cuddling up to you at night, and it has no bigger desire than to kill and maim and destroy other living animals.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a vegan. Makes no sense to me.
They're few and far between, those vegans with those cats. I don't know. I've never met a vegan with cats. I'm sure they're out there.
I've met a few for sure.
Especially the ones who own cats and then go vegan, right? And then they just get to think whatever they want to think. Like all of us. That Deschutes looks really good.
It's pretty delicious.
Which one you got there? Freshly squeezed?
Yeah, fresh squeezed.
Nice.
I get those, I don't know. There was a joke somewhere in there, and then I just didn't find it in time, so I gave up. We got so sidetracked on like a whole vegan cat thing.
We did. Start playing catch. But you were asking, like with now that plants and fungi are turning out to be more conscious than we initially thought. It puts a weird conundrum on vegans and vegetarians.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, and honestly, like, I feel like not necessarily vegans, but like, I guess, animal rights activists kind of don't understand like that idea of the circle of life, of like everything eats other living things, whether it's a herbivore or a carnivore. It is what it is. And humans have developed as omnivores. Our biology is such that we need protein. We can't live off grass like cows and horses can. Mm-hmm. We just can't. You need some sort of protein. And like vegans and vegetarians will probably say shit like, oh, you can get protein from other places, and you can, but do you know how many fucking almonds you have to eat to equal like a few ounces of chicken?
Yeah.
To get protein?
Yeah. It's I don't get it. You know, your body, your decision. But I enjoy good meat, you know.
Hey yo. Gotta learn on the podcast. Danny enjoys good meat.
No even setup. I just did it myself. I love good meat, but I do love good meat. All sorts of good meat. I like white good meat. I like black good meat. I mean, red good meat. Uh,
Jeez.
yeah, yeah. Hey, some people would rather eat 5,000 almonds than, just put a couple ounces of white good
Good
meat
white
into
good
your
meat.
mouth. Yeah. I don't know, man. But mycelium is pretty fucking cool. Uh,
Oh my god.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Mycelium is pretty cool.
yeah,
um
yeah. Well,
let's
so
see.
like a cool fact of like how we're finding out how conscious they are is how they actually do go out and grow and expand. And so it's like you can see how the certain parts of the mycelium, I think they call them hyphae or some shit like that, like these little probes, almost like the little neurons, and they go out and they grow outwards, and then they wait for feedback on like temperature and like quality of soil, things like that, and like if one is growing, if the signals are coming back and it's good quality, then in another quality it's going to grow in that direction. And it's going to keep growing in that direction until it finds a better place to kind of situate itself and go find a better path. And so it's like literally like neurons firing in the brain, sending back signals to the nuclei of the mycelium. And it's basically saying, okay, well, yeah, let's grow this way. And so it brings into that idea of also holding a memory too, for at least, I think they're saying at least 24 hours that they might be able to hold a memory
Yeah. Well, and it's
in the
also,
way we think of it.
yeah. It's also interesting that that's how ant colonies function as well. Is like they'll send out like,
Mm-hmm.
a handful of ants to go just like
Mm-hmm.
explore. Like if you had a full I don't know if they're called a hive if they're ants, but like a colony, I think that's the right word. If you have a colony of ants that have like the queen and you just dump them in the middle of nowhere, they'll send out like troops of
Yeah, yeah,
ants to go find viable food sources and like sort of find resources,
yeah,
and then they
yeah,
will come back and report like, okay, we found this, and then they'll eventually sort of form their new colony. um and it's interesting that like yeah, mycelium are able to do the same thing,
yeah,
even though we see them as a much more basic uh evolutionary form, but it's just
yeah,
because they're older.
yeah.
And it's also really fucking weird that uh we're closer connected to the kingdom of fungi than we are to ants or to fish
Huh.
or to plants. They're our closest related, um maybe not our closest. I mean, we're closer to mammals, but us compared to plants and us compared to fungi, we're much more similar. Or I guess fungi are much more similar to us
Mm-hmm.
than any plant
Yeah,
is.
they're more similar to us.
Yeah, yeah, fucking humanocentric fucking point of view over here. We're humans and we look at everything based on whether things compare to us.
Yeah, you know that weird fungus that like takes over the ant's mind and tells it to go up and like do that thing.
Fuck yeah. And like dive into
There's
the river and drown itself so it can spawn out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's this crazy idea that psilocybin mushrooms are playing the same kind of zombie mind game with humans
Ooh.
for their own psilocybal benefit. And so
Psilocybin.
it's like Terrence McKenna, like in like the 80s and 90s when his experimentation was just kind of like seemed like it was going off the fucking rails, like just tripping so hard with like him and his brother and all these people have been doing these studies for a long time and like just kind of going off the deep end, and they started to just be convinced that the psilocybin were just essentially zombifying them to do the like bidding of the psilocybin.
Interesting.
And so it's like how a fungus infects the mind, that we speak of that. It's like how that one mushroom does that to the ant to drive
Yeah.
it to become that zombie to fall into the water. And it's like,
Huh.
just
I,
fucking mind games with us, man.
I never heard that theory before.
And if you attach that to the stoned ape theory, it's like, we need you to be smarter first. Work on growing on your brain capacity, and like keep
Right.
working on growing that brain capacity. And then when we're gonna be smart enough, it's gonna be like, at last, and it's gonna download its consciousness to a human body, so it doesn't have to be a shitty mushroom with cow poop. It can just be a person. Maybe we're already there. Maybe our consciousness is just fucking mycelium. That's like in a fucking bot that was biologically built like a zombie ant
Yeah.
over the past 200,000 years.
And then that might explain metagenetics, or no, not meta. Epigenetics is the idea of like memory stored within genetics. It's really just our memory of what the fungi
the
are adding into our system.
Yeah.
It's like the Bene Gesserit in Dune, being able to sort of just remember generations and generations of influences.
Like that. Shit. Well, we got a mushroom mind.
It is.
I like my mushroom mind most of the time,
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm human.
It's very interesting what mushrooms actually can do. Not necessarily like hallucinogenic mushrooms like Amanita muscaria or psilocybin containing mushrooms, but even just like lion's mane has been proven to sort of combat like Alzheimer type diseases and help restore memory, and sort of there's a lot of neurogenesis associated with a lot of different mushroom species.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because no matter what, I mean, mushrooms were around, I want to say like 1.4, 1.3, maybe 1.5 billion years ago. Any resemblance of any vertebrate species hadn't developed for at least 100 million years after that. So evolutionarily, we evolved with mushrooms alongside us. And it's very interesting and very weird that, like, not even weird, that mushrooms and just, so penicillin was created from a mold, from a fungus. And that is basically, that's the beginning of all of the vaccinations and like all of the sort of, it's the foundation of a mold being able to take out bacterias and viruses. And that has created everything that we have as far as virus preventative medicine. Comes from somebody accidentally left a piece of bread out for too long or whatever. I'm glossing the fuck over the exact.
I like it though.
But either way, like, he left something in a petri dish for too long. Mold started growing, and then he ended up, creating penicillin.
Yeah.
LSD is also created in the same way, very inconspicuously and just like accidentally. Of just like, Albert Hoffman accidentally left something out and some spores developed, and that turned into LSD. And it's the fact that these things are basically, they show up ready to join with our own nervous system and our own sort of like health structure. The fact that it just happens out of nowhere by accident, it seems like it was almost meant to happen.
Yeah.
Where mushrooms,
you know how we are. Go ahead.
Just mushrooms, like, we developed with them, and then all of a sudden, once we found the technology that allowed us to tap into the potential of how these fungi could help us.
Hmm.
And we're seeing that more nowadays, with the idea of like using psilocybin for PTSD disorder, and a lot of other, depression, anxiety. The idea that mushrooms can help mental health and also physical health with creating like actual like vaccines and antibiotics.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that they've
It's
been around for so long.
it makes me think of what, right? They've been here since the dawn of Animalia. So Kingdom Animalia has never experienced life without Kingdom fungi. Right? It's fascinating. We're talking about the deep inner relations of our health, both psychological and physical, with the healing power of mushrooms, and it's the mushrooms and Kingdom Animalia forming those symbiotic relationships as well that we were talking about earlier with mycelium and the trees and the forests, and they both benefit from one another, right? So it's like mycelium helps Kingdom Animalia in these multitudes of staying healthy, and it's like, what do we provide Kingdom fungi? We get to pass on their spores. We get to, Kingdom Animalia is the kingdom that gets to move. It's the kingdom of life that moves. Obviously, bacteria and stuff does too. I don't know if technically they're Kingdom Animalia or not, but and so like, what's that? Why do so many funguses benefit from helping us? And obviously with the new relationship with humans, it's definitely accelerated in different ways because we have the capability of harvesting and growing more of it. And so if that turnout of, the goal of life is to produce more life, it would be in a benefit to being in relationships with these animals that help us move around.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Like, yeah, what are mushrooms or just the mycelia getting from that sort of connection? Because it seems like they're kind of the rulers of the ecological world. Like they're the ones that are transferring nutrients and like establishing what is good soil. Like you can't grow food, you can't grow crops in bad soil. Bad soil comes from not having that mycelium layer built within it to sort of establish that ecosystem. Yeah, what are mushrooms benefiting from? I don't know. I just
Either, and we don't need to actually think about it. I just think it's fascinating to think about,
yeah,
those relationships of the interconnectedness of life and working together in those ways. It's fascinating.
it comes back to the circle of life. Everything
Exactly.
affects everything else. It's the butterfly
Yeah.
effect. It's one thing happens in one part of the world, and where do most of the ecological disasters come from? It's humans trying to manipulate the environment and bringing in species that are not native, and then all of a sudden they become invasive species. Like the world exists for the most part in uh, like homeostasis.
Mm-hmm.
Nature has a way of regulating itself, and us growing up in Colorado and having the green belt sort of basically right out of our doors, you can sort of regulate like, oh, the coyote population must be down because there are so many fucking rabbits running around this fucking part of this fucking state. And then
Mm-hmm.
2 summers later, there's no rabbits around, but at night you hear packs of coyotes fucking roaming through the fucking the green belts.
Yeah.
And that's nature's way of establishing that homeostasis.
Mm-hmm.
If something gets too out there and too big and too populous, something's going to correct that.
Yeah.
And humans have had a long history of totally ruining that and just like disrupting that equilibrium that exists naturally in the world. And maybe we're not maybe we're the ones that are less intelligent than the organisms that are able to exist within that homeostasis, because we're going around and fucking shit up,
Yeah.
romping, stomping Homo sapiens, fucking everything up. Whereas octopuses,
Uh,
octopusi are, they're fine. They're chilling. They're in their fucking element. They're doing their own
chilling,
thing.
man. Yeah, yeah.
Whereas we're fucking digging up fucking fucking liquefied dinosaur bones to throw into our fucking cars and fucking burn them and run around like, yeah, fucking I got a fucking Hemi V8. Fucking
Yeah.
watch me roll coal on these motherfuckers behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas dolphins are just chilling. They're having a
In
great fucking time.
yeah, in our defense, we are the only ones with the capability to achieve such things, you know, uh, that, and now we're learning in the aftermath the repercussions of our actions. So it's like, with with like bipedalism, disposable thumbs, a huge frontal cortex, like just fucking massive brain anyways. It's like the brain capacity alone, it's like we have the potential to do so much more, and that includes, destruction and not really sustainable actions. And we're really good at not doing that. Because right now we're a fucking species with amnesia.
Oh,
Graham
bringing
Hancock.
it back to Graham Hancock.
Yeah.
Shout out to Graham Hancock. We'll put his Instagram up.
You got a Graham Hancock impersonation?
Gobekli Tempe. That's all I got. I don't know.
Gobekli Tepe.
We are a species with amnesia, Joe. And there are people can pontificate. I don't know.
It's fucking lunacy. Yeah, I can't do it. Not even gonna try.
What was I about to say? Okay, so all right, here we go. With Graham Hancock, he promotes the idea of, like, I don't know, maybe there was a choice in the older stages of human civilization not to do certain things,
Mm-hmm.
and not to create like plastics that don't degrade for hundreds of thousands of years, or not to invoke nuclear power where nuclear waste has to be buried 300 yards beneath the ground in order to not infect people with radiation. Maybe, and I think we talked about this before, but like the idea of maybe written word wasn't necessarily created because if the words were expressed just throughout the world but didn't have any wise teachers behind them to sort of like explain like what this stuff actually means,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
Well, the message gets lost.
Yeah, exactly.
New interpretations are going to be set. And,
Yeah.
and then there's going to be actions that follow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it in a microcosm, right, with Christianity, Jesus didn't fucking write down shit. He just preached and taught and was like, just live like this. And his disciples are like, oh, well, we need to write this down. And then the disciples were like, oh, we need to write this down. We need to comprise these. We need to confine these and see which ones are real and which ones are bullshit. And then like through the nepotistic lines of the early church just became a power control. I will say this so that we can get more out of this from them.
Yeah.
And so everything just gets degraded and debased.
Yeah. And at a certain point, it turns into a game of telephone. Because the actual disciples didn't write down. They're not the actual authors of
Yeah.
the scripture.
Okay.
The earliest account I think was like 30 years AD before the first like gospel was like actually written down. So yeah, it's obviously up to interpretation. Just as much so as anything else in history. I feel like I'm just saying things.
That's what this is.
That's
what you signed up for.
Yeah, I guess technically. But
we've been going for a good 2.5 hours almost.
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
Yeah. We can stop at any time, man. I gotta walk home in the fucking blizzard.
Is it snowing that bad there?
It was. It looks like it's died down a little bit, but it's been, and not like copious amounts of snow, just like kind of nasty sleet that whips at like 45-degree angle. So that'll be fun. Yeah.
Huh. So
Or I could just pull an all-nighter. Sender.
Record for the next fucking 8 hours.
Oh no! I'd paint. I don't think I just talk for another 8 hours.
I was like, I definitely don't have that in me.
Hey, let's get some cocaine, bud. Should we do a podcast on cocaine? Absolutely not. I'm nipping that in the butt. But maybe we do a little bit. You look tired.
A lot of margaritas yesterday and the after effects today.
That'll do it, man.
Tried to cure it with a little hair of the dog. Didn't help.
Worked for a bit.
Didn't help. Didn't help. And then now here we are. I'll pick one of those.
I know how we can end it.
All right.
Close it out.
Are you gonna fart?
No, like on a serious note, we can talk about how if humans learn how to act on a more conscious level, we might be able to find a symbiosis with the environment once again.
If you want to see symbiosis within your culture today, you're gonna have to.
I'm trying to close this out.
I'm too high. I'm way too high. I took another hit when I went to go get another beer, and now it's just, this is what it is now. If you guys want to get yourself a closure to this episode, you're going to have to call in the next 10 minutes in order to get a conclusion.
I should have called an hour ago.
Shirley is telling me that actually, hold on. Shirley is saying that if you call in the next 10 minutes, you will actually get 2 separate conclusions on this episode on consciousness. So dial the phone number 1-800-275-3647 in order to get 2, not 1, but 2 conclusions to this episode. I'm sorry that it has been so rambling and all over the place, but now we will conclude it for you for 2 simple payments of $1,375 and 1 complicated payment of $1,412. Okay. Anyways,
hey, good set. I should have done it there for you. I wasn't being a good friend.
I was kind of waiting for you to do it, and then I figured I had to jump in.
I thought it was really funny.
Is this episode ever going to end?
No, it's not. Yeah. You ready?
I don't know.
I was ready. He brought us back to playing fucking catch. Or you're playing catch by yourself outside, and I'm inside waiting for you to just throw
I'm just throwing the ball. I'm just throwing the ball straight up in the air, catching it again, and then
in the next 15 minutes. Just
and if you call in the next 15 minutes, we will provide you another person in order to play catch with. If you are alone and you want to play catch with somebody, if you call in the next 12 minutes and 37 seconds, we'll provide you with another person to play catch with.
Yeah, see, it doesn't even help when I say anyways.
I was in the middle of it. You gotta wait until I'm
No, it can't work like that.
You have to wait until I'm finished with the bit before you tell me anyways. If I'm in the middle of it, I can't stop.
I will try to remain patient. Fair. I will give you that.
I will remember you.
Anyways.
Will you remember me?
Anyways.
Say I'm in Toontown right now. Sorry. You just got yourself a one-way ticket to Toontown. And guess what? I'm the conductor. Choo choo. Let's fucking go.
Fast. I'm off to stay at the station.
2, 3, 4. I will remember. All right.
Just like slowly move the microphone away as the train goes by.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't tell so high.
Oh God, it's a circular track.
The train keeps rolling. It comes back.
You're just out there singing and like,
And I'm hanging out the window playing catch with somebody on the side.
yeah.
Every time I circle back around, we get to play catch again.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways.
There's going to be a lot of jump cuts in this ending because I feel like I want to leave a lot of this stuff in.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah.
2, 3, 4. All right. That was the most convoluted discussion you've ever heard on one of the most complex topics ever talked about on the planet of just where does consciousness come from? What does it mean? Mm-hmm. What are we? Are we conscious? Are we not conscious? What is a green bean? Is it conscious? What is a tree? What is a mold? What is a fungus? Are they conscious? Are they not? We still don't know, even though we did research and we talked about it for way too long. So I guess.
Well, it seems like we at least know that they're aware, and so that they have this factory system of some form of memory and action and thought. Well, maybe not thought. Who knows about that? Verdict's still out.
We found out some stuff. We also didn't find out a lot of stuff.
We also showed the audience how much consciousness we lack.
That's definitely very true.
Closing out a fucking podcast episode. But hey, we're just learning here.
They might not even see that part. Who knows? We found out a lot about consciousness, but also not that much. But what we did find out about is enough to grow on. Like if you were a mushroom,
boom,
taking over the
mind
the deceased body of a beheaded cow, and just bringing all of the nutrients back into the nature. And we're in nature. God damn it. Cut. We're going to take that again.
We're in nature.
We learned a lot about mushrooms. We learned a lot about... This is just fucking... Don't laugh at me, dude. I'm trying my best, okay? And we learned a lot about... Again, you threw the ball at me. I went into Alex Jones and I cut myself off, and then you threw Trump at me, and I'm gonna have to catch the fucking Trump ball. And I'm gonna throw it back, dude.
Do your thing, buddy. Get it out, Ryan.
There are gonna be so many jump cuts in this.
Get it out, buddy.
Just beep, beep. We learned a lot. Okay, we gotta figure. We gotta land the plane at some point.
Okay. As a species becomes more aware, as we as humans become more aware of the impacts we have on Earth, that greater sense of consciousness, as in that greater sense of awareness of the impact that we have on our greater environment, will we have what it takes to get past certain habits and other neurologically forming things to reach sustainability and kind of try to bring this whole son bitch back to an equilibrium?
My guess is no.
Or should we die? We all just die, and consciousness just will resume in other life forms.
We could
It'd be
all
sad.
We could just
for the humans.
self-immolate.
How?
Well, light yourself on fire.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Hey, we're learning here. Wait, what's self-immolate? Like self-ignite? Like,
yeah, you
light
light yourself on fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, we almost had a good wrap up. We just took it's like we had a fucking just a bowl of spaghetti. And we just
I dumb fucked hard on that one. What's self-immolate? How does one self-immolate? I don't know. I'm just a dumb fuck.
All right, that's the ending of the episode, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah. I'm gonna start losing friends because of this podcast.
I try and edit things out so we sound at least like remotely intelligent. So
That's good. That's good.
That's at least the goal.
Yeah. We got it. We also, it's good to be honest. I feel like a lot of people would also appreciate us just being ridiculous as well. But we're pretty ridiculous, so.
Yeah. We spent 20 minutes on it. We spent
2, 3, 4.
Amazing.
No. I keep throwing the ball. All right.
See, this is the problem, dude.
I like throwing the ball. I can't help it. It's funny.
2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. There are many songs that up and day. Yes and nay. And did you
no hesitation.
When it's
straight into desert road. This is what Brian's fucking brain is thinking about as we're talking.
Just 2, 3,
2, 3, 4.
Did you know when it snows, my eyes become large? Something on the pain. Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the same.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
we've been trying to end this episode for the solid past 10 to 12 minutes.
That's the show, folks.
Hey guys, that's the fucking show. If you don't fucking like it, catch you later, dude. Take a fucking hike. We're idiots who try and talk about smart things and sound smart. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You want to get on the train? Guess what? Choo choo, we're fucking moving. You want to come down to the train to fucking Cuckoo Town? Guess what? We're already there. And I'm the fucking mayor. I'm mayor of Cuckoo Town. Check me out. Guess who my vice mayor is? Say hello, Danny.
What's up? Bring your own beers. We got some weed, but also bring some more. We're going to go toast the nation. Get on this train.
Yeah. get on the train, and guess who my Secretary of Defense is? Well, and we're here to provide the mayor of Cuckoo Town
Alex, let Ryan introduce me now, okay?
Well, Mr. This next individual coming to the stage is a dear friend of mine. He's actually the director of the economy of Cuckoo Town, Mr. Donald Trump. Hello, Alex. It's been an amazing trip to come here, Cuckoo Town, since I have been here, and Cuckoo Town feels like a second home to me next to Mar-a-Lago. And thank you. I'm Donald Trump. Goodbye. All right, so that's the end of the episode, guys.
Hopefully we can slide together a little goodbye out of that.
We've done 12 different endings that are all just going to be compiled into like one
We
nonsense.
started to try to end this at 8:53. It is 9:55. It's been an hour. So we have spent a third of our time trying to end the conversation, but we keep getting weirded out and sidetracked and too goofy to fucking do it.
Well, and actually, I try to set my speeches way earlier than they scheduled.
No, Donald, no.
Excuse me. Very
Cut
rude.
you off,
Very
okay.
rude. Excuse me, Daniel.
Stop it.
Daniel.
Donald, stay in your lane, buddy.
Daniel.
Go back to coach.
Daniel. Okay. Bye
I think there's
bye.
been a mistake with my seating arrangement. Don't do it. Don't do it.
There are many things that I think of when I sing. There are the things, and I think that they're terrific. And did you know that when it snows, sometimes my eyes get bigger? I mean, they get large. And excuse me. You guys are playing off key.
Let it die. Just give me one Alex Jones let it die.
Why did I die? Why did I? How did I? And sometimes when it snows, and my eyes become large, and the seas become frothing with rage.